accepted as Rhodes Scholars on the same day, actually. All the interviewers had the panels on the same day across the 16 districts. And I found out earlier in the morning. They let me know right after the interviews concluded in front of the room with all 16 finalists. And then Jay found out later in the day. So it was an exciting 24 hours.
Yeah, it's a funny process. So you have this reception Friday night, and I think the Texas region was a little differently than where I interviewed in Indiana. And then I interviewed Saturday morning, and I remember texting Laura and being like, "Hey, how'd your interview go? Like, I don't think mine went that well." And she texts me and says, "Hey, I got it." And I was like, "Oh my goodness, this is so great." And then I found out a few hours later. So really special day. I don't know if it was the same with your region, but they took us back, the other winner and I, and sort of sat us down with the other interviewers, and they talked a little bit about their experiences as Rhodes Scholars, gave us these big packets of information, and at that point I wasn't really forming any coherent thoughts and was very much off in space mentally. But then I texted my parents, who are also from Indianapolis, where I was interviewing, so I was able to tell them in person, which was really special, and they just freaked out, which was great.
The first thing I did was I needed a glass of water. Yeah. And then same thing with my region. We went back with the interviewers, the other winner and I, and just had a quick debrief, and we also got the giant information packets. It felt awesome to let all my professors and friends and teachers know. And I called my parents first, and my brother second, but he didn't pick up because he was napping. And then my advisor, my academic advisor, third. And it was just, I felt more that the Rhodes Scholarship should have gone to them, because they did so much to get me to that place and to support my passions and support my intellectual pursuits. And it felt so wonderful letting them know, because I really do think it belongs to them.
Yeah, it's not the sort of thing you win as an individual. It's something that unfortunately, the award goes to one person, but on top of both Laura and I are a mountain of supporters and friends and family and advisors and everything. So it's still, I guess when I initially found out, it didn't feel real, but the process of it becoming more real really worked out as I told other people. So it was really unbelievable to be able to show that sense of validation that I was receiving. I guess I've always been interested in people, and I've always been interested in ideas and about the connection between the two. So that's why I was drawn to political science at Duke, was because, well, I tried about 5 other majors first before I settled on poli-sci. But I found that I could really understand the way that people interact with one another, interact with the state, interact with these giant webs of organization around us by looking through the lens of political science. So while I'm not sure exactly where that will take me in terms of my career, hopefully some combination of academics and policy, straddling sort of the worlds of academia and the actual political realm. I know that I'll still continue to use all those political skills I've learned here.
I really agree with Jay. My future career will hopefully center on human rights issues, and human rights concerns don't exist in a vacuum, but all these different geopolitical dynamics come to bear on the process of getting human rights implemented and respected in the international system. And so understanding these different frameworks and ideas and relationships between states and institutions and people and governments has really been useful for me in formulating an idea of how I can be a successful advocate for human rights. I just finished American Grand Strategy, so I have to say that Professor Peter Fever and Professor Alex Rowland were absolutely instrumental in helping me think really deeply about questions of political science and grand strategy and the relationship of politics to history. And that class was just a great case study for the intersection of so many disciplines that I've studied, and made me think really deeply about my place in the political system. I've been so influenced and so selflessly served by so many members of the political science faculty and staff. On the faculty side, Jedediah Purdy, who's a law professor but also teaches political science courses, Malachi Hacohen, Herbert Kitchell, Jonathan Anomaly. I could go on of just all these people that have given so much to the development of my thinking, but also just as people. They've just been extraordinarily warm and selfless and desiring to see me grow to be the best kind of person I could be. And of course, Suzanne Pierce keeps me in line organizationally, and there's just, I can't say enough of good things about
the people here at political science.
It's a great department.
Yeah.
I'm really lucky. I think that reflecting on our Duke experiences, I'll speak for you here because I'm sure you feel the same way. We feel incredibly just lucky beyond words that we've had the support of the political science department and the history department and for you, the English department and the religion department. And now that we're coming to the end of our 4 years at Duke, it's amazing to think back to even our first days as first years and imagine how far we've come and the professors we met along the way. And this may be a little bit sappy, but I just can't believe that if I went back and told myself as a first year that one day I'd be sitting here doing this interview after being named a Rhodes Scholar, I would just feel the same I do now, just shocked beyond words.
Yeah.
So Duke has been just a blessing in so many ways.
I guess I want to emphasize, like Laura did, that intellectually we've had the chance to grow along a number of dimensions, and for me that's discovering a whole new discipline like political philosophy, something I would have no idea what it was if you had asked me as a high school senior, now to be something that I'm considering as a career for the rest of my life. But also as a person, and also the ability to see how people can be generous in their scholarship and also in their relationships, and that's something I'd like to emulate forever as well. And that's something that's not unique to the poli-sci department nor unique to Duke, but I think especially present in both of those places.
Absolutely.
And I'm really looking forward to going to Oxford and meeting a number of other incredibly awesome people and seeing what they might have to show us also.
But Duke will always be home.
But
Our
Duke will
first
always be
home.
home for sure. Yeah.